Good evening. My name is Sarah Ray, and I am the Executive Director and co-founder of Yobel International, which is a nonprofit that exists to alleviate poverty and prevent slavery around the world through entrepreneurship. I'm here to speak with you all tonight about our belief that charity does not end poverty, but that business can. This belief began to formulate in me when I traveled to Eastern Africa in the early 2000s and witnessed firsthand the productivity and dignity that foreign aid was stealing from the African people. As I continued to travel around the world, I asked community after community what their greatest felt need was, and I received the same answer over and over again. We need jobs, and we want our children to go to school, which made sense to me. If we can give people the chance to provide for themselves, then they'll be able to leave poverty without a handout. The individuals I was interviewing in Eastern Africa turned out to be among the 1.2 billion men and women living in extreme poverty today, and much of their poverty is a result of unemployment. In South Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa, more than 3 out of 4 workers are in vulnerable forms of employment, with women disproportionately affected. And because of this reality, the International Labor Organization is calling for decent work to be a central goal in the global development agenda. In order to move more and more individuals out of vulnerable working conditions and into successful business operations, they have to receive proper business training that takes into account their incoming education levels as well as the climate in their local marketplace. And without access to these kind of skills, they will not be able to succeed. This awareness led us to found our nonprofit, Yobel International, in 2012 in order to create specific curriculum for these people in these places. Over the past 4 years, we've trained in the countries you just saw on the slide. And we're really pleased with the results that we're finding. We see that 50 to 60% of our graduates begin a new enterprise within 1 year, and their income increases by 40%. Over 95% of these graduates begin to budget and save for the very first time, and they employ at a rate of 244% of their pre-training rate. This is encouraging because the research indicates that the best way to improve an economy is to encourage business development. For every 1% that we're able to increase entrepreneurship in developing nations, we see a corresponding 2% decrease in the overall poverty rate. So, as we decrease poverty rates, we decrease vulnerability to things like human trafficking. Case studies show that when individuals and families are able to exit extreme poverty through entrepreneurship, their risk of being trafficked is cut in half, which means that through business development, we're able to be a part of eradicating one of the greatest evils in human history. Best of all, we believe we're encouraging a form of development that extinguishes paternalism of the past. We're equipping entrepreneurs with the tools that they need to achieve their dreams and enable them to be able to solve their own problems. Rather than sponsor a child's school fees, we're giving her mother or her father the ability to put that same child in school. And rather than sustaining a community feeding program, we're giving a family the ability to feed themselves. This is what we call dignified development, and it makes great financial sense. We invest one time in the life of an entrepreneur through business training, and we see that knowledge create lasting change for themselves and their communities. And when we give away knowledge instead of stuff, our programs become relatively inexpensive. It costs you about $300 to train one entrepreneur in the developing world, and case studies indicate that the return on that investment is 18 to 1 over the life of our entrepreneur. We see entrepreneurs like Christine, who's a single mother of 4 in northern Uganda, say things like, "Now my family feeds twice a day, unlike before when we only had 1 meal a day. I pay school fees, medical bills, I have a savings plan, a budget. I have more friends now." As individual businesses like Christine's grow, they help to develop informal economies, attracting other forms of infrastructure such as schools, water, and the like. As informal economies formalize, people become empowered and are able to impact the political climate of their cities and nations, creating greater change. In the small Ugandan town where Yobel first began to offer business training, we've seen a once empty town center fill to bursting with merchants. We have seen buildings expanded and market days increase. We've seen a primary school built, wells dug, irrigation systems developed, and a medical clinic installed. And this isn't the work of an aid organization. This is the work of empowered individuals investing in their own neighborhood. The reason Yobel targets the bottom level of the economic pyramid is because these individuals are most likely to succeed. There's no alternative for them if they fail. As these entrepreneurs succeed, their communities succeed. As their community succeeds, their economy grows. As their economy grows, their nation can prosper and become increasingly stable. And because we have seen this to be true, we're trying to empower as many entrepreneurs as we can throughout the developing world, and we would love for you to join us. Come talk to me over at my table or check out our website. Thanks.